Hi everyone and welcome to my new channel. If you're new around here, my name's Alice and today I'm filming a get ready with me video. I'll do a little cutaway here so that you can see how it turns out, but I don't really have a plan for this. I'm just going to put some makeup on to film a video today. I'm actually going to be filming another video for this channel straight after this one. So this is just a chance for us to all get to know each other a little better and watch me put some makeup on my face. So let's get started. So I'm going to start out just by prepping my base. I'm going to be using this simple eye roll on. I use this pretty much every single day. I just like to take this underneath the eyes. I get quite dry skin underneath my eyes, like I've got dry skin everywhere really. And I just find that this helps with just smoothing that out and getting it ready for all the concealer that I'm going to pile on top of it in a moment. I'm also going to use some of this L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Primer. This really helps just make my foundation and my makeup last a little bit longer, which is ideal for when you're filming. So I'm going to put this everywhere, but focus it on the areas where my makeup just tends to break down, like my forehead, my nose and my chin. I also like to do a little bit of colour correcting before I put my foundation on. I actually do this on an everyday basis and when I'm filming as well. So I'm going to start out with this orangey peachy colour here. This is just a crayon from Primark. So I just put this underneath my eyes. You don't need a huge amount and this will just help correct and counteract any darkness under the eyes. It works really well. And I'm also taking the green one. You can see that this has been used quite a lot. I'm just going to put this on any areas of redness. I obviously have quite a lot of skin redness. This doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to blend it out anyway, but you can see I've just drawn a little rough starting point and then I'm going to blend this all out with my sponge. This is the Real Technique sponge and it's a little bit damp and honestly, I really love this sponge. It just makes any foundation, any corrector, any concealer, anything looks good with this sponge. And now it's time to go in with foundation. I'm using my very loved Revlon Colour Stay foundation. Mine is in the shade 1110 Ivory and I used a one for normal to dry skin. I'm going to start out with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush just to get a nice even layer all over my face. So I just like to start out where my skin is a little bit red, and then I kind of sheer it out after that. So a few of you who have come here from my photography and vlogging channel might be wondering why I've decided to start a makeup channel, because it's so different to what I was doing on my other channel, and I know it's different and that's kind of why I've started it. Like, I didn't want to confuse anyone who had subscribed for photography tutorials by suddenly uploading a foundation review. You know, I feel like it doesn't really all go together, and I actually work in digital marketing, so I make videos for a social media marketing company, and one of the things that we talk about all the time at this company is stuff like branding and how important it is to kind of have a really small niche and to be consistent with what you're doing. I also watch a lot of YouTube branding videos because YouTube is something that I'm quite interested in and something that I really love doing. And again, I find that a lot of people talk about branding and just the importance of having, you know, a very small niche and very consistent content. And with that in mind, I didn't want to be uploading lots of different kind of things. And genuinely, when I film videos, putting on makeup is like my favourite part about the filming process. It's the bit that I really look forward to. It's like, ooh, I wonder what look I'm going to create, because I obviously pile on a lot more makeup when I'm filming than I do when I'm like getting ready to go to the office and stuff like that. So now I have a really nice even base of that foundation, but I still need to just target a few blemishes and do my under eyes as well, so I'm just going to go in for concealer. The first one I'm going to be using is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in Fair. I want to apologise in advance because you are going to see this a lot on my channel. I have been using this for years, not the same one. I know it looks a bit grubby, but I promise it's not that old. But I repurchased this over and over and over again, so yeah, you're going to see this quite a lot. I just like to put some on the back of my hand and then kind of go in with my finger and try to get this little stubborn bastard right here in the most inconvenient possible place. And I know that it's going to come off when I put my lipstick on later anyway, but I'm still going to try to cover it up. So hopefully now that I've explained, you know, why I want a second channel, it kind of makes more sense why I decided to do that, instead of just putting everything on one channel. And I'll admit, when you're a small YouTuber like me, when you do work full-time, it is kind of terrifying to have 2 channels and knowing that I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week from now on, but at the same time I'm really excited about it. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is go in with the 17 Stay Time Concealer. Mine is in the shade Extra Fair. Again, this is a concealer that you're going to be seeing quite a lot of on my channel. I'm just going to start out by putting this underneath my eyes and just down the centre of my nose just to brighten up the face. And I also like to pat it on top of my eyelids as well. I'm also adding a little dab of this concealer just where I get a lot of pigmentation towards the jawline on my face, and I'm going to blend that out with the sponge as well. So everything on the base is kind of done now, and I don't set it with powder straight away. I actually go in with, where is it? Hang on. I go in with my setting spray. At the moment I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Fixing Mist. You can see I've used it quite a bit. I don't actually like it that much. I've used the Makeup Revolution setting spray in the past, which I liked a lot more than this. This one you have to shake. You have to shake it quite a lot, or it leaves these white things on your face. Anyway, I go in, and I kind of let all the liquid foundation and concealer settle and just set on my skin by itself while I'm doing my eye makeup, and then I go back in with a powder. And I find that the coverage is much better this way, because if I go in with powder while it's still a bit wet, then I can kind of move it around a bit, whereas you don't really do that if you do it this way. It's just something that I do when I'm filming really. So I'm going to move on to the eyes now. I don't have a particular look in mind today. I'm really in the mood to wear this colour tattoo from Maybelline. This is one of their Leather Effect ones. It's in creamy beige. It's basically a dupe for the MAC Painterly paint pots, if you've ever been wanting to buy one of those but not wanted to spend 15 quid or whatever it is. So this is just a nice cream eyeshadow. I'm going to start with my finger. So just by using my fingers and kind of smudging this all over my eyelid, I feel like I've made a really nice base. It just looks like a nice wash of colour. I think this would complement anyone no matter what your skin tone or eye colour. And I'm also going to use this Barry M eye crayon. This is the brown one. And I'm just going to really roughly line my eyes with this. And it can be really messy, and it doesn't matter because I'm actually going to smudge it out with my finger. So now that I've just got that nice base, I'm going to go in with a powder shadow. And I think I'm going to use a shade in this palette, just one shade as like a nice wash of colour. I think it's going to be this one. This is a really, really beautiful buttery gold colour. This is the Makeup Revolution I Heart Chocolate palette. And I just take that golden shade and I run it all over the lid, on the crease, even over the eyeliner as well. I just put it everywhere. I'm also just going to take a mix of these 2 shades here and just add them on my lash line. Again, this is very messy, but it doesn't really matter because the mascara is going to be covering it up anyway. I really love doing this method for filming because it's a really quick way to define my eyes, but it doesn't take as much skill or effort as a traditional eyeliner does. I'm just going to quickly curl my eyelashes with this eyelash curler that I got from Primark, and then I'm going to go in with a brand new tube of the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. This is one of my favourite mascaras ever. And that's the eyes done. Sometimes I add some false eyelashes when I'm filming, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm too lazy. So next I'm just going to set all my makeup into place, and I'm going to do that with this powder from Stargazer. This is their pressed powder in the shade Natural Shimmer. I'm just going to tap my under eyes to make sure that the concealer hasn't settled into any fine lines, and then I'm going to set it into place with a very fine dusting of powder. I'm starting out with a Real Technique setting brush just to set all the areas where I put concealer, and then I'm going in with a larger powder brush over my face just to make sure that everything is covered. I forgot to mention that another thing I quite like about this powder is that it does have an extra tiny bit of coverage. So it's really nice if you've got very blotchy skin like me. Recently I've been using an eyebrow powder to contour, and I know that sounds absolutely bizarre, but I actually saw another beauty guru do it. I'll leave the link to her channel below. Her name's Taylor. She does loads of pale skin foundation reviews, which I love. And I saw her use an eyebrow powder and it actually worked really well. So this one's from Freedom. This is the Duo Brow Powder in Blonde. So I'm just going to use a brush like this that's just got an angle to it. And then I'm just going to create some cheekbones and just kind of put a bit of shadow on this half of my face because my face is quite round. And also go underneath the chin as well. I am building this up quite a bit more than I would on an everyday basis because my lights do wash me out a bit. So I really have to pile on the contour and the blush. Yeah, makeup for filming is definitely quite different to makeup in everyday life. And I'm just putting some on my forehead as well, even though my friend is going to cover that up later, why not? I'm also going to add a little bit of blush. I'll be using the Milani Illuminating Face Powder in the shade Beauty's Touch. And again, I'm going to add quite a bit more than I normally would on an everyday basis, because that's what you do when you're filming. So that's my blush on. It might look a bit extreme now, but when I shake my hair out and the lighting is different from my next setup, it will all come together. I quite like it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of highlighter as well. This is the highlighter that I use every day, filming or not. It's the Freedom Pro Highlight, and you can tell that I love it because it's absolutely battered and it's fallen apart. This is in the shade Diffused. This is really good if you have pale skin. So I just start out on the top of my cheeks, go top of the eyebrows, below the eyebrows. Whatever's left on my brush will go down the centre of my face. I also take an eyeshadow brush and just focus it under the eyebrows as well. This is why I do my eyebrows last of all, because I do this with my highlighter and I don't want to smudge them. And I also get a really small eyeshadow brush and just focus them on the inner corners just here. I just find that it's such a small little detail and probably no one even notices apart from me, but I really like the way it looks. Okay, let's put some eyebrows on. I'm just going to brush them into place first with a spoolie. And this next product won't be a surprise to anyone who used to watch my makeup tutorials on my other channel. This is the Rimmel Professional Brow Pencil in Hazel, which desperately needs replacing. I am running out of it. You can see how small it is. So I just start by drawing out some hairs on the outer parts of my eyebrows because that's where they get a little bit sparse, and I just like to define the edges of them as well. After I've created a bit more of a shape and just added in some hairs, I like to go in with a brow gel. I've been using this one from W7 at the moment. This is the Queen of Brows. This is in the shade Light Medium, which I believe is the lightest one. And I just really gently comb that through my brows. And I'm just going to finish off the look by adding some lipstick. I'm using this one from Essence. I'm not quite sure what the shade is because it's rubbed off. I've had this in my handbag for weeks and I've actually used it up quite a bit already. It's not too orange, it's not too pink, and it works perfectly with these gold tones. And now I'm just going to shake out my hair and put some jewellery on and I'll be ready to film. And this is the finished look. Thank you so much for joining me today and for checking out my new channel. I'm really excited about it and I hope you stick around and hit that subscribe button. On this channel you can expect a lot of get ready with me videos like this one, but also foundation reviews because I try a lot of different foundations for my pale skin, as well as videos on my personal style. I've got really into fashion recently and you can expect a few Primark hauls, a few lookbooks. So hopefully I'm going to be posting here every Sunday at 9 AM and I'm really excited about it. I hope you are as well, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!